I'll show you why we're in the top percentile of trainers. Go, Otter Horde! Let's do this. Take him down, Karma.
That's your Pokemon. Oh, please, prepare for...
Alright, you two, Mr. Chumps. Get him.
Wait, what?
That's not fair. This is a Pokemon battle. There's one of me. Yeah, but come on, that's not even an actual Pokemon. It's just a lot of wild otters you stuck in a Pokeball. No, that is not fair. I'm sending out my next Pokemon. You have two.
No, man. We each sent out one. You send out a second. That's a forfeit.
But I only have one. And you have a
No,
horde.
we have one each. You want to exceed that and forfeit, man?
Screw you, I'm going home.
Another well-reasoned, totally fair battle. Isn't that right, Otter?
How did he get you all in there? For once, we're going to actually play a relatively new game. When this review was planned out, it was absolutely new. But it took me a while to get through the game, and then I was delayed. But I went out to the shop the day that it came out, picked it up. I even had a copy pre-ordered for me to make sure it'd be there waiting for me. I haven't done that in a really long time. Was it worth it? Yes and no. Well, what game was I so excited for? Let's Go Eevee. Well, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Not Pikachu. Stupid piece of crap Pikachu.
I suppose I should start with that right away. We don't like Pikachu, Game Freak. He's annoying, he doesn't evolve into anything interesting, and isn't actually useful until he evolves on top of that, and yet you keep insisting on shoving him down our throats. Okay, fine, but you guys are very clearly out of the loop on what the fans actually like about your series. One perfect example is that instead of Eevee and Pikachu, you wanted to make it Pikachu and Psyduck.
Show of hands, who has a Psyduck on their main team that isn't a Misty cosplayer that couldn't get the Staryu plushie? Yeah, that's what I thought. Dave, put your hand down. You don't even know what a Pokemon is. Exactly.
Luckily, someone high up enough in the company for them to put their foot down understands that no one would actually buy a Golduck-focused game. Instead, they looked at which Pokemon was popular and settled on Eevee.
I mean, honestly, that's a great choice. I happen to be one of a large number of people that adore Eevees. Like, if I was in the Pokemon world, I would be Professor Maple, and I would spend all of my time sitting around and studying Eevees. I wouldn't have meant to become a professor. It's just kind of what happens when you sit around and you watch Eevees for months at a time. A person shows up, hands you a lab coat, and you're a professor now. You can't tell me that's not how it works when Professor Kukri is a Pokemon professor. So overall, I think it was a really good decision to go from an overall boring, useless character like Psyduck, and even, to a degree, Golduck, that no one's actually that interested in, to a unique, energetic creature like Eevee that can interestingly and uniquely represent each trainer... Wait, they what? Want an Eevee that can't evolve!
Yeah, Eevee, the evolution Pokemon, stuck to the exact same limitations that Ash's obnoxious, useless Pikachu has, where it's stuck in its base form from now on. What could make that better? That this game is actually just a remake of the original Pokemon Yellow. Never heard of Yellow? There's a reason. The original games weren't Red, Blue, and Green. Okay, they were, but there was another, Yellow, in which you were given a Pikachu that never evolved and you could not remove from your team for any reason. But...
he follows you around! Damn it.
The worst part is, looking back, we can kind of see this coming. Similarly to how they tried to give Pikachu a held item to make it slightly more useful in Sun and Moon, Eevee got its own Z-move. It was an awful move, and a complete waste of your single Z-move per battle, and only ever saw niche play by getting the buff and then promptly baton passing your worthless Eevee back into the backlines to pass along the amazing buff to a real Pokemon. And I said up front, I love Eevee. I wish there was a normal type evolution that would let you keep your best buddy the way they are and makes them useful. But instead, no, it's one thing to prevent Pikachu evolving. He's the face of your game, even if he's useless that way. But you've completely missed a huge part of the entire reason that we adore Eevee in the first place. So how can you make a game in which you're going to be gimped with one of the Pokemon so weak that it can't be used in normal competitive Pokemon? Yeah, that's a thing. Normally Pokemon battles are done in tiers. Uber, overused, underused, rarely used, etc. Eevee is below all of that in the little cup with things like Bidoof, Flababe, Oddish, and Zubat.
Eevee is in the same competitive league as Zubat.
So how can you make the game fun? Firstly, the Eevee has perfect stats. For those of you who don't have one of those weird friends who's obsessed over their Pokemon's Eevee levels in nature, that means it's amazing. The most powerful Eevee that ever did wiggle its tail. They also gave you incredible, absolutely broken moves that have never been seen before. Every element is covered in Eevee's options. How does it feel to suck in your own game where they made you the entire focus, Pikachu? Digs at Pikachu's game aside, these moves are fun. They're incredibly powerful, to the point where I almost never used anything on my team other than Eevee. That's the third way to make the game playable. To make it so easy, it's not even a joke. My Eevee fainted exactly once to Misty's Starmie without me ever using any kind of healing item on it. After that point, it never again fainted, casually blowing through every Pokemon I came across. Well, okay, I might have had trouble facing off against Koga. While that might have something to do with having accidentally done the game out of order and fighting him before Erica, the game has my back.
You ready?
Winston and I were born ready, darling.
This is Myth's shiny that we caught together, Winston. We later chained for hours to finally obtain my shiny, Abby. One of the big new selling points was couch co-op in Pokemon. Myth and I were so excited we were going to catch up all of the Pokemon. But all that happens is the second player ends up feeling like an obligation that wastes time. Every time you go through a door, see a cutscene, return from a cutscene, pass through a screen transition, and return from battle, you have to wait several seconds for the animation for their appearance to go off. It seems small, but each time wastes a bit more of your life, and even over an hour-long play session, it really adds up.
What now, Dave? Stop it, Dave! Yeah.
See what I mean? This also makes the game even easier. You don't just call out your Pokemon, but your second player calls out the second Pokemon in your party too. Whoever you're facing doesn't get an extra Pokemon, so they can just suck gravel as you curb stomp them into the floor. You can even do this to gym leaders and the Elite Four. You don't actually need this second player to really exist, just turn on the other controller and use it to give battle commands. I guess that's what the wait is, punishment for player one for giving up what little challenge there still was in the game. Don't worry though, player 2 gets punished as well. They're meaningless outside of battle. They can make wild Pokemon jump up. That's it. They can't go through doors, they can't interact with hidden items, they can't instigate battles, they don't even need to be on screen, they matter so little. Then they added the candies from Pokemon Go. You can use these to adjust the stats your Pokemon is weak in. Winston is the fastest Hypno you will ever see. One of the biggest things holding Hypno back from being a good Pokemon is its slow speed, so now he is a juggernaut. On the one hand, I think this is a wonderful thing. No matter what the Pokemon is, it can be good now. For once, those of us who care more about the Pokemon we enjoy having found on our journey and making bonds with matter just as much as who's actually useful in battle. On the other hand, I just pumped everything possible into Eevee and made the game even easier. I don't think this Pokemon game is for experienced players, though. It's not even really for the long-standing fans who've been playing it for a long time. Sure, it remakes Yellow, but it never calls it Yellow or alludes to it being a remake. It's too easy for any experienced player to find any level of challenge. So why did I have fun overall? Because my Pokemon journey isn't about battling. It's about the experience, about finding places, about new interactions and new partners. And the story was there and it was okay. Nothing special, just what you'd expect from Pokemon. There are Pokemon, you journey the land to collect more, and prove yourself the strongest trainer, Team Rocket gets in your way for not really explained reasons, and simple as simple gets. That's what I think. Let's Go Eevee is simple. It's meant to bring in a younger, less experienced generation that has watched the anime and played the mobile Let's Go game. It helps to bridge the gap with that more casual audience, and I think it does that beautifully. There's still a core Pokemon experience here, and for as much as you're stuck with a basic Eevee, it is adorable. If you really want to experience more Pokemon, you've probably already picked up this game.
If you're somebody not really familiar with the game and you've mostly just played Pokemon Go on your phone, I think this would be a perfect place for you to get into the series. But if you're a hardcore fan and have avoided picking the game up until this point somehow, you haven't really missed much. There's not a lot here that's probably for you. Just keep holding out until Sword and Shield. I know I'm waiting. It just lacked any of the magic and enjoyment that I had playing through some of the older games like Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. And it never got me invested in playing for hundreds of hours like X and Y did. Hopefully Sword and Shield can bring back that magic.
So I'm getting Sword.
Dave, for the last time... Oh, what can we do for you, Dave?
He says he has requests for us.
Oh no.
Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. A deliberately easy game for newcomers to the series that, while fun, cannot compare to its previous series entries, and demonstrates a complete misunderstanding, if not total disregard, for what the already established fans like about said series. The multiplayer, while interesting and enjoyable, also serves to drag the experience down in some other ways. 7 out of 10. Hey guys, the teaser for the next episode, as well as the outtakes, will be on in just a moment, but I just wanted to take a quick moment to make an outro to say thank you for taking the time to continue to watch. I know my uploads have been a little slow lately, but I'm working on picking that up. In the meantime, feel free to come over to our new Discord and find out what's going on and talk to me and yell at me to make sure things get done quicker. The link is in the descriptions below. I'll see you there.
Okay. Oxygen. How does it work? Good going.
Listen, I thought you would catch things.
You okay? I didn't think I hit you very hard.
Can you see my hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do... No, that was horrible.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Place it. Oh, I moved this hand. Hang on. I gotta stay perfectly still. I'm a smart man.